Hey, greetings traders. Samantha LaDuc, founder of LaDucTrading.com. I wanted to do a brief video just to kind of outline again this macro to micro trading mindset that I come into every day for clients in my live trading room and also in my Slack client workspace. This is an image I grabbed from Wednesday just to kind of show you that I'm looking at lots of different narratives behind the scenes, macro and sentiment, as well as quant flow and fundamentals during earnings season and reaction thereof from the market. But I'm also looking a lot at intermarket and technical analysis. So one thing that I have done for clients is capture my top trading ideas, and they may be on a chase time frame, a swing time frame, or a trend time frame. Here's an example just of updates on my oil trade long, which I have been stating for months that would likely go to $60. And then I kind of revisit the oil reflation trades, for example, that I keep saying I like. The best ones are Exxon, Schlumberger, Oxy, and PBR. PBR also for a Brazilian reflection. And just to kind of like show you why, and this is, there are different reasons, but this is CRB. It's a monthly backdrop. The light gray here is actually the dollar, and that's not the major consideration that I have for being long commodities. It's actually higher yields. They pull commodities and vice versa. Inflation expectations, which have been rising, and with it, the market. So we have this particular scene. This is a monthly, all the way back into the 80s, but the point is, this multi-decade low in commodities has been, it obviously fell off a cliff. That's when, back in May, when crude dumped to negative $40. Never happened before, and obviously it set up like a V shape. I still think it has a little bit more to go until it hits some concrete. And yes, this is still looking like for 2021 a very good bet for long commodities over stocks. That's been also a thesis of mine. But in particular, this is a good look for energy, and one of the reasons why I continue as a trend theme to support the oil and gas complex. However, we're getting up to that $60 pretty quickly, and I think there's going to be a tussle. So some other areas where I have been long: Bitcoin, still bullish. Ethereum, actually this was printed on Wednesday the 3rd, and it hit 1750 on Friday. But there are also lots of stocks that I go through. CRDF was one that I had recommended for a while as an oncology play, along with a whole bunch of other trend ideas that were all working except for CRDF. That was the one that kind of fell down, if you will. And then I said, I think it's going to get supported. And it has been bouncing very nicely since I mentioned that on January 21st, from $10 to about $13, $14 now. But I also go through not just the trend plays, which you can see are kind of diversified, and because they span lots of sectors, but also plays that have been laggards. In other words, they have not participated with their sector. One is NBEV, and it literally is one that I've been spying as a pot play that looks to be lifting, but the trigger is 1350. I wanted to show that to you. And a biotech, XERS, that's trying but not there yet. And on Friday, both of these exploded higher with two other plays, low-priced plays that I've been recommending to clients. So I do look for volatility, not just the big volatility surges that we have that can reprice the market, but literally volatility coming in to create a directional flow. And then I look for the direction to continue. And these names, RFP, which is in lumber, has been doing extremely well. Jemaya, the Amazon of South Africa. CCJ, uranium miner. That's a fabulous theme, also commodities, but supply, if you will, has been greatly reduced. A number of mines have been reduced. GameStop, I've recommended since August. We've been through that saga, if you will. That was one of my top 4 to 40 plays. It went to 480. But the point is, I continue to recommend these plays long. This is from December 18th. SPWR, this is a solar play. Biden and, all of the EV kind of movement. APPS, a fabulous cloud play. And just, I remind clients that they're still doing great. In fact, they did earnings this past week and they crushed it. They were up 16% after hours and continued higher on Friday. Big Five, they sell ammunition. IIPR, a REIT. Twitter, my fave social media play. MSTR, it's a Bitcoin play. Upwork, everything, the cloud and subcontracting online, that's been a big winner as well. CRDF and is the oncology play that had fallen, but I think will get back up. Square for payment, a SPAC that has to do with cannabis. So there are tons of trend plays that I remind, if you will, and update clients about. And sometimes I use an intermarket backdrop, such as a yield curve. This is the 2 and 10, as it's stretching up to my price target of 1.2, which obviously supports my higher yield thesis for the past few months, and the reflation trades of oil and gas and that type of thing, as well as actually just tracking commodities. And the one thing that I have not been very bullish about is gold. And one reason I mentioned in previous videos my gold short thesis is that this dollar is starting to round and move higher. So I still think that, by the way, this is gold inverse, that gold has corrected mostly in time, not price, but it is definitely, for me, more risk to the downside than the upside for the next quarter or two. So just wanted to give you a little background on how I am looking at markets, both from the intermarket as well as a technical standpoint, and then specifically these trades in the ones that I just mentioned. NBEV, you can see this gorgeous kind of bottom fishing play. It is in the cannabis space. It has not taken off. Friday it did trigger and it did stay above 349 for a close. So that's a very nice one. Another was this XERS, which I have been waiting also to trigger 592. It did and went all the way through and closed above 716. That's a biotech play. The CRDF that I have mentioned is an oncology play that had been extremely well performing until this particular very big break of the 10-week all the way down to the 50, and it's getting supported here at the $10. So it's done a good job, up to 14, pullback so far is shallow. This is another example, obviously, of what I'm trying to look for in triggers, both in stocks as well as sectors that are strong, and that includes commodities, and I consider Bitcoin, Ethereum, oil, commodities, and then of course just general trends that keep working. So I just wanted to share that in case there's anything there that is new that might benefit you, and of course invite you to my live trading room. I also provide a lot of analysis from macro to micro in my Slack client workspace, educational webinars, brokerage-triggered trade alerts, and lots more. So I invite you to have a look at the offerings and like this video if you are so inclined. I will provide more content the more support I get. So I wish you a great weekend.